Jeremy Hill, how we doing?
Pain. It's just what I'm feeling right now. Just pain. Man. Brutal one.
A lot of people in South Louisiana feeling that way after LSU's game with Alabama went the way it did and the Saints game with the Falcons went the way it did. I don't think we saw either one coming. Jeremy, I talked about this on the post-game show right after the game, and I thought in the moment I was thinking, man, I bet I feel differently about this on Sunday and then on Monday when I go to the air. But I really don't. I feel the same way I did after the game. I have never had a game-watching experience like that with LSU football. I just haven't. I had I had expectation that LSU was going to get absolutely blown out, absolutely crushed in the game. And so I'm an intense game watcher. Like, I get fired up. My language is questionable at times. I'm emotional. It's just who I am. I can't fix that. But I had none of that on Saturday. I'm sitting there. I'm laughing at Saban yelling at people. They're getting penalties. I'm thinking it's hilarious. They have to punt. I'm like, this is hysterical. And then all of a sudden, at like the end of the third quarter, I'm like, oh, crap. I have to start caring about this. Like, we might win. And, of course, I end up getting furious and then just mad. But I have never had an emotional run like I did in that game on Saturday. What was your kind of where were your emotions?
I was riding that same boat when Williams caught that touchdown to go up 2 scores. I was like, oh, goodness, here we go. I was so into it. I was like, okay, we're cooking with something. We're dialing up some blitzes, scoring a couple of
Talk about that later.
Yeah, dialing up some fake punts. Like, what's going on right now? Like,
that really made me laugh. That was hysterical.
I was really in a different parallel for a minute there, and I had to, get my wits about me and get myself together. And then I look up, and it's still a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter, and so that was just one. You just talk about letting one slip away. That's just right there at the table. I know everyone's going to talk about the go for it or not. Obviously, in this situation, you got to go for that. I love K. York. I know we have him, but you got to go for it. You got to take the Giant down, and I'm not mad at the call. We just got to convert there.
So we'll talk about the game. We've got a lot of time to get to all that, and certainly in the second hour we will. My ego is not allowing me to react properly to this game. And I say that because I think the level-headed reaction to this is, man, you're down your entire team. You've had a terrible year, and the guys came out, fought hard, gave it everything they had, and competed admirably in the game. That's what you probably should say. I can't do that with LSU's football team. I don't want to live in a moral victory world. I don't want to be in dang, we tried hard world. I don't want to be like an Ole Miss fan. Like, that's not, I don't want to do, I want to compete for championships, expect excellence, and when you lose, it's unacceptable. And so that's an ego thing. And I don't want to allow myself to feel the way I probably should.
No, dude, that's exactly what I always talk about, the standard of LSU football, and the fans have a standard too. When you put your purple and gold on, you want to feel like, you're supporting something great and you're supporting something special, and that's just what I feel as an LSU fan. That's what I've always felt as a kid, and you do that by winning national championships, competing for the SEC every year, and when that goes away, man, it just takes the taste out of your mouth, especially as a fan base. And even watching that game, just going into it with the thoughts I had and just seeing, us compete and fight so hard, it just really makes you just love being an LSU fan. And I'm so proud of them, man. Obviously, no moral victories around here, but to say they would go out there and fight the way they did, I'm definitely proud of them for that.
And Brian Haldane, who does mornings on Talk 107.3 here in the building and is our producer for the LSU Sports Radio Network, really said it great when I said that Saturday night, said that, I don't want my team to be reduced to, we tried hard and that was a great, admirable fight. And he said, yeah, but that's not your team. And that's a good point, because the team is in the training room. The team is in the surgery table. Like, we know this. They don't have 80% of their production. It's just not there. So that is another part of it. But it's a weird feeling. I can't recall ever feeling like that. So you mentioned the biggest situations which was, do you kick the field goal down 6 or do you go for it on 4th and goal from the 7? I tweeted it at the time. I still feel it at the time right now. I feel like that was a spot to kick the field goal. I just don't like your odds on getting 7 yards. You just hadn't moved the ball that great. If it's 4th and goal from the 3, you got an opportunity to maybe run it, maybe call some, like I would have thought better of it. But your defense had forced 3 straight 3-and-outs. You were playing really good, and I think I probably would have kicked it. But I don't think it's the wrong decision to go for it. And what happened was they dialed up a good play. Jack Bech won the route. He was open, and Max was late throwing the football and didn't hit him. So that was one decision. The other decision is before the half to try to go score, where Max throws the pick and you give up the touchdown before the half. To that point, you had thrown for about 20 yards in the first half. You were not moving the ball through the air at all. You had literally like 43 passing yards at that point, but 25 of them were on the fake punt. So really you had thrown it for about 20-something yards. You weren't moving the ball efficiently, and you had fought your way to a tie at halftime. I would have been okay going in at the break at that point. They got aggressive, tried to go get it, and they decided, I mean, it was obvious, they decided when they got off the bus, they were going to be aggressive and try to go win the game. And I guess if you commit to something and doing it, that's better than just kind of making frivolous wrong decisions. But man, that one hurt because you turn the ball over late and give up the touchdown. You feel like all that effort you had given was wasted.
Yeah, you definitely want to get some sort of points out of the job, but I think, I said it before the game, and you sometimes got to be careful what you wish for, but throw caution to the wind, and I think you saw that. You saw that offense really go for it. Every fourth down, we had an opportunity, fourth and short, we're going for it every chance we get, and you get down there. Obviously, you're trying to slay the Giants, so you feel like a field goal, and they run the clock out, you lose the game. You go up there, you go down there, you try to get a touchdown, and even if you do get stopped, they got to go a long way just to put points on the board. So I'm not totally upset with that call. I think you got to be aggressive. That's what they're doing the whole time, and you just got to stick with that. The defense is playing lights out. They're stopping the Heisman winner right now from getting points and getting touchdowns. Yeah. So you got to trust their defense can get a stop, especially if they're backed up.
Snapped the longest streak in the history of the sport of 30-point performances. Alabama had 34 in a row, only scored 20 on Saturday night. LSU, though, comes one play short. 20-14 was the final. There's so much we got to get to, and we'll get to all of it in the second half with the change in defensive principles, bringing as much pressure as they did, the ability to stop the run like we have not seen really all year from this team. I mean, what was the most impressive thing you saw in the game?
I talk about it all the time, stopping the run. It just makes things so hard for you as an offense when constantly you're in third down after third down after third down, and you see Alabama go 4 for 13 on third down, which is you don't ever see because they're in manageable situation.
They're the best third down team in the country.
Exactly, they're in manageable situations. Robinson actually has it going. This is probably their worst rushing performance that I can ever recall in recent memory. Alabama,
26 carries for 6 yards.
Yeah, that's not an Alabama football team. You never see them, rush the ball that inefficient. And so you do that to a team, and you force them to become something that they're not. And I love Bryce Young. He's a good quarterback, but he's not a drop back and throw it 50, 60 times a game. And we're Mississippi State, or we're one of these air raid offenses. They run a ton of play action. They get the run game going. They try to stay balanced, and that's just what we took them out of. And I've been preaching that all year long. Can we please just run a blitz? Can we please run a blitz? They start dialing it up, and you see what kind of problems that causes for college quarterbacks in these college teams. And they get a couple offensive linemen out like we've had to do it all year, and then you saw what kind of chaos that created for them up front as well. So I love what we saw. Sucks that we had to wait till week 10 to see it, but I guess it's a start for the future, I guess.